Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Basil Builds. I am, as ever, your host, Basil Thistleton Smythe, and we are here tonight starting our build of the Infinite Justice Gundam. If you remember last time, we unboxed it and we took a look at all the runners and everything. So now it is time to begin. And we're going to go in the order that the instructions have said here. It starts here with the body of the kit. Now, when you're doing your own, you don't have to go in order if you don't want to. I like to do it that way just because I'm methodical like that. And as you can see, I've got my nicely organized runners here, or at least kind of organized, at least organized enough for now. And we're starting with the runners that are labeled D2. So we're going to find our D2 runner is C2, and here we go. D2, a gray runner. Looks like we need D2 5, 8, and 6. So let's get started. As usual, I'm going to begin with my rough cut nippers here. So we're going to find 2, 5, D2 5, which is right here. Let's snip these guys clear. And of course, as always, leaving plenty of space to do the close trimming. D2 5, D2 6, which is the mirror image of this piece. Snip this here, and then snip this guy right here. There we go. Oops. And then D2 8, which should be right next door. There it is, 8. So let's get this guy free of the runner here. And then I'm going to come behind with my handy dandy vault can nippers and clean up these residual nubs here, being very careful not to leave extra if you can help it. There we go. And also you can always clean up afterwards with a little bit of a sanding stick, which is what I will probably do for some of these corners here. There we go, that's done. This guy is done as well. And then clip this there. And I like to save the sprues, so I throw them away all at once. You can do anything you want with the sprues, actually. A lot of people decide to save them all, melt them down, and then use them to create other stuff. I don't really have the time or energy to do that, so I don't, but I can see how that could be fun. And it looks like I'm not going to need much to clean these ends up here, just so they're not sticking out. I don't believe these pieces are going to be exposed, or at least not where the nub marks are going to be. So I wouldn't worry too much about leaving marks behind. As long as they're flush and they're not going to interfere with getting the pieces to fit together, that's all that really matters. All right, so let's fit these three together. Let's see now. D28 is going to sit in between these two guys. And this way, let's see. This is going to go like this, fits in here like that. There we go, and it fits pretty tight. And then this is going to go right next alongside it to make the same side here, or the opposite side rather. And there we go. This looks like the beginning of a joint, part of the body joint, I bet. Yes, this is probably going to be the bottom of the waist. This is probably going to be where the waist meets where the bottom of the torso meets the top of the waist. That little plug there. So that little bit will be concealed. The top here, though, it's a little bit of a fuzzy thing there. I'm going to give that a little bit of a scraping. That's a little better. Okay, now next step, we go get C1, which is this big old runner here, C1, and we are going to cut out C119. Let's find C119. Yes, here we go. Again, as always, start with the rough cut nippers. There we go. Clean them up with the nicer ones, the more expensive ones, or the higher quality ones, perhaps I should say. Be careful you don't over prune. Now this we're going to need to clean up with the hobby knife. Whoops. Try not to stab yourself with the hobby knife, folks. Even though I usually do that all the time. And also, don't cut towards yourself like I'm doing. You really should be cutting away like this if you're going to be using a hobby knife. In fact, I shouldn't be doing it either. Now, you're supposed to be careful with a hobby knife anyway. Try to cut off just as little as possible so when you hit it with the sanding sticks, you don't have to worry about making a big mess behind. Come on. A little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to start sanding. And sanding, as always, is progressive. You want to start with a lower grit one. I'm starting with an 800 here. I'm going to try to even out this. Where was it? Here, that's the most egregious fella right there. Try to. The key is not to smooth it out completely on the first pass. The key is to, or not make it look beautiful the first pass. The key is to make sure that it's flush. There's nothing sticking out anymore. You can't feel any bumps or anything sticking up. That's when you know you've sanded it down roughly. And then at this point, you have to use progressive sanding sticks to buff out what you've been doing so that your plastic begins to resemble what it looked like before you started picking at it. It's not easy, and it's not always perfect. There are sanding kits out there that you can spend lots of money on if you want to get a really, really close finish. You can also use one of those glass emery boards that people use for doing their nails and stuff. Those are one of the same, really. But as you can see, this is getting more and more flush. Is it going to look exactly how it looked beforehand? No, but it will be close enough so that the mark doesn't stand out anymore. And there we go. Not perfect, but good enough for government work. And here we go. This goes into the bottom, like this. I see. So this little hole there goes where this peg is. Fits in there like this. Slides right in. I said slides right in. It's supposed to slide right in. What are you doing? Why aren't you sliding right in? Making me look bad, man. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's supposed to give a little bit of a give there. So a little bit of a waist movement there. Okay, but that is in. Next, we're doing C123, which is going to go on the back of this piece here. So let's find C123. There we go. Got it immediately. Carefully cut this guy out. 1, 2, 3. And then trim carefully. Don't cut any of the things off that the model needs. Like, don't cut these little nubs off here. Those pegs are for fitting the rest of the model together. I have done in the past some pretty boneheaded stuff where I snipped a peg off that I shouldn't have, and I had to crazy glue a peg back together so I could put the shoulder piece on that I had just made impossible to do because I was too ambitious and aggressive in my nipping. So this one is pretty clean. I see a little bit on one corner here that I'm going to buff out a little bit, just a tiny bit. Now, it might not even be visible when I put it together, but I will know it's there, and it would annoy me. So I'm going to give it a quick buff. Everything should be fine. No one ever said it was quick putting together Gunpla models. They take time. You know, you can take as much time as you want. You can rush them if you don't want to worry about quality and stuff like that, or if you want to just take your time with them and enjoy every step of the process, that's fine too. You don't have to. I mean, that's the thing. What does everybody always say? Gunpla is freedom. Freedom to put these Gunpla together however you like. And it doesn't really matter whether you're good at it or not. What matters is whether you're enjoying yourself. There we go. That looks like the back of the waist there. Now let's see what is next on the agenda. Oh, we got some little fiddly bits. Looks like we've got the those look like the shoulder or the arm where they meet the shoulder. So we're gonna need something from the B runners. Let's see, B116 and B17. This is my B1 runner. B116 and 17. Looks like two of them each, one for each arm. So let's get to snipping. B116 and 17. Oh, and then B2 16 and 17. So that's what it'll be. First, we'll cut these off from B6, B1. Just a rough cut here. And then same on B2. There we go. Trim to trim up. Snip here. Now these are almost certainly going to be all internal joints, so I don't have to worry too much about leaving little nub marks behind. As much as I want everything to be absolutely completely smooth and clear and clean, it doesn't have to be, especially when it's not going to affect the fit, or it's not going to affect the way the model looks when it's done. Then again, if you know it's there, and the fact that you know it's there is going to bother you, even though it's not going to be visible to anybody else, and if you can't stand it, then take care of it. If it doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. The point is to enjoy yourself. And this is enjoyable. Yes, this is enjoyable. Some people look at me and go, what do you mean this is enjoyable? You're taking forever to put these little things together. How are you enjoying this? Well, believe it or not, I am. Let's see, these guys go together like this. One goes in here and goes down. All right, yes, there we go. These are a tight fit. It's actually good. Tighter is better than not tight enough. So there we go. And this one goes in here. And then these guys go, oh, this is interesting. Okay. Interesting shoulder joints. These guys are really up their game when it comes to their engineering. See, so he's going to go like that, and this is goes in like that. Yes. So the shoulder joint moves laterally like that, and then also the arm will be able to go up and down like that. Pretty clever. This goes in here. And also, it calls for a couple of decals right on top. These little black spots here. Now, if you don't want to use decals, you can use paint. You can use regular, good old-fashioned paint. You can use, you can also use paint markers, just for being able to do this easily and quickly. I'm going to just put this in here. And why are these so tiny? They look a lot bigger on the... All right. So this calls for decal number 5 to go in this spot here. And it calls for it to be put in properly, not the cockeyed way I just did it. I got it. Congratulations, baby! That was my wife, who has just gotten the mount, one of the special mounts in Final Fantasy XIV, one of the raid mounts from, I believe it's Bismarck Extreme. So she was worried earlier that she was not going to be able to understand the fight. I'm like, baby, come on. You know what you're doing. You've been raiding since you were your 20s. You were in one of the biggest WoW raid guilds in vanilla. You're going to be fine. And she was. And she got the raid mount. See, there you go. Just goes to show you should believe in yourself. And of course, if anybody is interested, that is actually where my wife and I met. We met playing WoW together on the same server, where she ended up being my pocket healer. Because, of course, I was the tank. Because, who are you going to trust not to get you killed if you can't trust yourself, right? So I took it into my own hands to make sure that I was a decent tank. And then I found my wife, who is an awesome healer. And that was that. From there, that was a match made in heaven. So, yes, as I was saying, you can, if you don't want to use these decals, you can also just use paint or anything like that. Okay, so that is done. That step is done. Now it looks like we're going to put the front on this. So I'm going to go back to the D1 runner. Oh, no, actually, this is new. D1. D1, which is black. D1 2. Let's see, where is D1 2? Not too many things on this runner. This has pretty good color separation for an HG kit. Surprised. Usually HG kits are not all that well color separated, which is why you need all these color correcting stickers. But as you can see, there's not that many there to begin with. I am surprised that there's not too many actual decal stickers, as in putting extra detail on the model itself. But these are more anime accurate, I guess you would say. And this is actually a pretty decently new kit. I believe this kit came out in 2020. So this kind of represents the standard HG experience now. RG kits and MG kits are usually the ones that have more detail in them, and that includes more decals. I like decals. There's sometimes so many of them that you look at your decal sheet and you go, oh, this is going to take forever. But, there's also something just really satisfying about putting all these decals together and watching your model come to life, really. All right, let's see. This looks like this is ready to be put on. Should put this on the right way. This goes on the top like that. Yes, that's right. Nope, like that. Okay, so D1 2. It's going to slip right on to here. It's like a bra going on a woman or anyone who wants to wear a bra. Let me put this on right. It's on upside down. What the heck am I doing? Am I doing this wrong? Yes, I was doing it wrong. See? Yeah. I don't know why you'd want to wear a bra. Those things are supposedly incredibly uncomfortable. My wife complains about hers all the time. There we go. And see, now it's really coming together. You can see that the nice color separation and the contrast between the black and the would that be maroon? Let's see what's next. Oh, the top. Now we go to the A runner. A1. A1, actually, A1. So let's find number 1 on here. 3, 4, 1. Ooh, it's green. It's like a lime green. Okay, then. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle green. There we go. And let's trim this guy. Goes to show how much I remember the original series. That I just kind of skimmed over the idea that there was a bright lime green collar on this guy. This looks like to be in good shape. And it is literally a collar. It goes on right over the top here. It also serves in this piece to give a top to the shoulders so they don't go past that point. That looks nice and clean. I like the way this looks so far. It's been a fun build so far. So let's see. I believe we're going to start to work on the back of the center torso unit now. So let's see what is in store for us in the instructions. Yes, okay, so we have E1, all the way back to E1, all the way down to, here we go, is this E? E1, good job. E1 number 13. 11, 12, 13. Ah, this is the cowling around the cockpit hatch. Very important. Let's clean this up. Make sure this is nice and ready to go. And this guy at the bottom here. Now, in my opinion, the white pieces need to be the most clean, but luckily the white pieces are the ones that clean up the most easily because they're not colored like the rest of the plastic. The white plastic just seems to not show marks nearly as well as the colored plastics. That means it's so much easier to clean them up. Makes me happy. All right, so now we're gonna fit this right over here like that. It's a nice snug fit. All these pieces are really snug. It shows that they're really doing their best when it comes to parts fitting. Really happy so far. And then we've got, D29. D2. Here we go, D29. Now this is the neck piece. Quite literally the neck piece where the neck connects to the torso, or the connector between the head and the torso. And this goes in right on top. And this one is, well, this one actually has some tabs too. That's nice. Very good. It doesn't, oops, it flew off. Usually these guys are just ball and socket joints, but with this one it does not seem to be that way. It's a little different. Now this one is more of a pivot. Looks like you'll be able to move the head up and down like that. Looks like it needs a top collar, though, to keep it from falling out like that. And that is exactly what's coming up next. D14. There we go. D14. This little collar here. I really do like the way that these newer HGs are being put together. They're very similar to the way that they re-engineered a lot of their kits to do this new entry grade level, where it's designed for first-time builders. And it's a 1/144th scale, just like this guy. Is that part of the... I'm not going to snip anything I shouldn't snip. It's a 1/144th scale, just like an HG kit or an RG kit. But the way that they've been engineered is fewer parts. They go together very well, and the engineering on the joints and things like that is very well thought out. So I think a lot of the design methodologies that Sunrise and Bandai Namco have been developing for their entry grade kits, they're applying those design philosophies to these new HG models to make them more fun to build, look better, feel better, and just fit together better. Or at least that's what I think. I can just be completely making stuff up. There we go. Oh, nice. Yes, very nice. And you know what? I see very little in the way of nub marks. That's really nice. This looks really clean and clear. All right, so what's left? There can't be much left of the torso, is there? Nope, not really. Let's see what we got here. Building looks like parts of the back. And that should be it for today. Let's see. We've got a D11. Cut this guy off here. And then, what else do we have? A B118. B118. Here we go. And what else? Looks like B122. A little piece. 24, 23, 22. Oh, that looks like a hinge. I gotta be careful with that guy. All right. All right, we trim these guys up. Trim this guy here. Here. Okay, trim himself. There we go. One. And little guy. He's then trimmed next. Let's trim this black guy here. This black piece. And then this snip right there. Let's see. Let me hit a couple of these rough spots if I can. Again, don't cut towards you. It's a stupid idea. There we go. All right, let's see how these two fit together, shall we? Let's see now. So D1 and B118, D1, B118 go in like this. Is that right? That can't be right, can it? Like that. Oh, like that. Okay. So that sits in there like that all the way through. There we go. Oh, oh, these are, I see. These are the thrusters in the back. I get it. All right, now what? Now it goes. Next is B122. Goes in here like this. Did I cut the right piece out? I don't know. This is an interesting one. Oh, I see. Kind of. Did I cut the right piece out? This doesn't seem right to me. Always check. No, I didn't cut the right piece out. I cut out B127. See? That's because I wasn't paying attention. This goes back in the box. This cut out. I'm just going to use the sharp ones right here to save time and energy. See? When your eyes are not that great, like mine aren't, always take your time and double check what you're cutting out. Now, here we go. This is what we need. This goes in, I believe, like that or like the other way. Is that right? There we go. All right, not bad. And now where does this go? In the back, just like that? Let's see now. Slides right in. Oh, look at that. Nice and snug. Okay, so look at that. We have completed the torso of the Infinite Justice Gundam. You can see here's the front, the top, the sides, and this is the back. And as you can see, these are movable. Look like vernier thrusters. Or actually, these may be the connector for the backpack, actually. And then here's the other side, the bottom. This is the plug that will go into the waist. This is where the head will go, and these are where the arms will go. But this is it. So, thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today as we begin putting together this model kit. Next time, we will start working on the head and maybe begin the arms too, depending on how much time it takes. But until then, leave your comments and questions in the field below. And just like my daughter Eleanor says, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day, guys. Good night.